What's up everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Great League video. Today I'm going to be showcasing newly buffed Mantine in the Great League. This Pokemon was buffed with Water Pulse this season. Water Pulse is now a much more energy efficient move, and in fact it's Mantine's most energy efficient move, with 1.76 damage for energy, as compared to something like Ice Beam, which is 1.64 and 1.65 for Aurelius. This is quite an interesting move update for this Pokemon, because it never really had a hard hitting water move. Of course you had Bubble Beam last season, but it's not exactly a move that's going to threaten a lot of damage, and it is more of course for the debuffs. So I think in certain situations, Mantine's going to be looking a lot better with this move. If you're running a team in particular that is quite weak to fire types, Water Pulse is much more threatening than Ice Beam or Aurelius against Pokemon like Skeledirge, of course, which resists ice completely, or Talonflame, which can comfortably tank an Ice Beam or an Aurelius. So it is quite interesting in certain cases. You will however notice in matchups like this against Dragons, it's going to be a little bit worse. It's a little bit worse against Pokemon like, for example, Gligar, but after using this Pokemon for a while yesterday, I found that the matchup into Skarmory was a little bit better. So Mantine with Water Pulse has its advantages and disadvantages, and today we're going to have a look at some battles sent into the channel by my good friend and Factions teammate Jai Loves Latinas. Thank you very much for the battle submission. We're going to have a look to see if this Pokemon is actually worth using with this moveset, and also this is quite an interesting team he's using. I seen this team I believe on Yasser Leeds channel last season. It's got Annihilate and a Steady Cash in the back. Jay wanted to give a shout out to Com Viper for the team suggestion. And like I said, let's have a look at these battles to see what Mantine's capable of. If you want to send in your own battle submission, there will be a link in the description down below. Feel free to fill that in. If you're using more meta teams and more buffed Pokemon, I'm always interested in showcasing that kind of stuff. Especially next week for Ultra League whenever I have maybe limited options to showcase. Also, before we hop into the battles, do you enjoy these videos? If you do, drop a like. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you're not, subscribe. And without any further ado, let's hop on in. We will do a question of the day here though. Which moveset do you think is better on Mantine? And do you call this Pokemon Mantine or Mantine? Let me know in the comments down below. I personally say Mantine because it sounds a little bit better, but the official pronunciation is Mantine. Anyway guys, hopping into this battle, we're getting absolutely debuffed into oblivion by Dugong. So this is kind of tricky. The opponent hasn't shown their final Pokemon yet, and we have a very low health Mantine. The opponent goes for a catch onto the Toxapex. Now of course we can deliver super effective damage here, but the problem is we're debuffed and we're not able to switch out yet. So this is going to require a lot of very precise energy management, and we need to basically come out of here with a move. We're going to go for this next Mud Bomb, and I think our only option here is to throw, but the opponent actually throws a charge attack. This is absolutely huge. I think the opponent should be committing to fast moves at this point. We build up to back-to-back moves. We're going to fire off Mud Bomb number 1, which will hopefully take out this. Yep, we go for the swap out. Of course the opponent Ice Shards us down, and we're going to go straight for this Mud Bomb here. Now, this is Shadow Whiscash. Will this be enough to KO? We did get the lag, and whenever you're about to win the match, you do get that lag, so good games well played. Very nice recognition by Jai there. By the way, Jai's a fantastic player. He hit Legends super fast last season, so we should be seeing some very good gameplay here. But yeah, very nice recognition to swap out, get the maximum amount of damage, and let's hop into this battle. So we have Charm Gramble in the lead. We do see a lot of interesting Pokemon early season. Charm Gramble, not really a great Pokemon these days. Not that it ever was great or anything, but Wigglytuff is just looking a lot better than this Pokemon these days. They're going to go for a Crunch. The opponent was being a little bit greedy, going for a debuff. Very nice call by Jai, because, you know, oftentimes they don't YOLO the close combat. We've got 2 shields, it's very obvious to go for the debuff in that situation. And we have 2 shields, with a low health Mantine, a low health Whiscash, and we do have a Lickitung on screen. We do make it to a last second move, which could be very vital here. Typically, with Annihilate, you can go for like 1 Night Slash and counter down. That chip, because the opponent got ahead in energy, should be quite vital here. Now the opponent's getting to the Power Whip, they go straight for it, which is kind of nice. If they go for a bait here, this starts getting a little bit dicey. The opponent should only make it to a Body Slam, which of course is double resisted. We should be happy to let that go, and we're going to have a look to see what's in the back. We'll let this move through. We're going to be down to like 50% health, so we really need something that this energy can do well into. The opponent comes into a Lantern here. So quite an interesting team by the opponent. They go straight for the Surf, we're going to go straight for Shadow Ball. You could make the argument that you would go for Night Slash first to get the boost, but I think two moves here KOs no matter what. So we just want to get the hard-hitting move off first, get off the Night Slash. I think the opponent will probably live with some 1 HP, but that's going to be absolute curtains for them. Good games well played. The opponent 2-shielding the Charmer in the lead, pretty cringe stuff here. Good games to Jai there, and we're going to hop on into the next battle. I am never a huge fan of the playstyle, 2-shielding your lead. A lot of players do like to use an RPS Pokemon like Dragonair or Charmer in the lead, and just try to rely on their Pokemon in the back. In comes Gligar. So Shadow Gligar, I feel like it's perfectly fine with Water Pulse, and I think you can more or less just go straight Aurelius in this matchup. We're going to go for it here. I think the opponent almost always shields this move here. Nice shield by the opponent, and the opponent's going to go off there next to Aurelius. It's going to be interesting to see if we can win this match going straight Water Pulse. The thing is, you know, we were able to tank that one move, whereas the opponent has to shield everything. So it means that we can get off these free water pulses. It takes the opponent, what, like 4 aerial aces to KO us. We can tank 1, we can shield 2, and of course we're going to need this one to KO. Because we don't have an amazing answer to Gligar, and Gligar can put in a lot of work against Shadow Whiscash, we do go for a shield here. The opponent would probably just outpace us to the dig, and we'd be on very low health. The opponent comes into a Medi. Medi seems to be like coming back a little bit. I do anticipate we're going to start seeing some ABB teams with Medicham and Gallade. Medicham to draw out the Gallade answer, like a Sableye for example, and then looking to sweep in the back with Gallade. The opponent makes a swap into the Donkey Dinosaur, and we're just going to come in and start Whiscashing the life out of it here. Not really a whole lot the opponent can do here. Unless this is this a purified Basti? No, it's not. We're going to just farm the Basti down the whole way down. I think the opponent will see how minimal damage this does. The only loose con that we have in this game at this point is that Jai's battery runs out. But I think we're fine here. The opponent says, Algorithm too strong, I'm hopping into the next one, and that's what we're going to do as well. In the next matchup here with Mantine versus Whiscash, this is where you absolutely love to see it. All 3 of our Pokemon do fine into this. I think in Even Shields, Annihilape can beat this Pokemon, and of course we have the mirror match. But we just completely wall this energy. Now we're going to go for this big Water Pulse here. I'm expecting that we need probably a Water Pulse plus 2 Aerial Aces here. Yeah, maybe 1 more Water Pulse would just about get this done here. I think they'll live at minimal HP, but it will put them into a farm down range. The opponent is spamming Scald and hoping for the best here, hoping for debuffs. They do get 1. Luckily enough, they don't get the second one. So this Water Pulse will still hurt a lot, and we should be able to farm it down from here. The opponent goes for another Scald. At this range, we can come out with Water Pulse. We can farm this the whole way down. We're going to be single debuffed, of course. And let's see what they want to come into. The opponent's thinking long and hard here. They may not have a great answer to this. They come into a Lantern. We're going to come into an Annihilape immediately. Absolutely love that play right there. We do have 2 pretty decent answers to that. So the last thing you want to do is give the Lantern a bunch of farm. They're going to go for the chip, and then they come into the Mandibuzz. So by the looks of things, we still have some work to do. We're going to go for Night Slash, presumably to fish for the boost. The opponent goes for a shield, thinking that it might be the Ice Punch. This match is looking very, very tricky, but that's definitely given us somewhat of a chance. And we're going to go for Water Pulse on the Mantine. Again, this is where you would absolutely love to have Ice Beam. The opponent can just let that through, and because they have let that through, we can maybe start looking to throw Mud Bombs on this thing. So this game is not quite over yet. I think you probably want to shield one of these Dark Pulses. The opponent goes for Foul Play. Okay, so that's good info here. You definitely have to shield one of these. One Surf from Lantern from here does not quite KO. So what we need to do is go for double Mud Bombs. Yeah, Jai's not a degenerate debuffer here. He knows that's the play. We're going for damage, not debuffs. Boom. Mud Bomb number 1. The opponent comes into Lantern, and at this point we're going to go for a very nice overfarm here before throwing the move. One of these Mud Bombs does not KO, so this is perfectly fine at this point. We're going to go straight for this move on a CMP tie. And basically what we're looking to do, I think we should be 4 Mud Shots off the next move. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we just breached the move. Very, very easy shield. The opponent is on Air Slash, which is quite an interesting moveset here. We go for a 1 and throw for good timing, even though it was completely unnecessary in that situation, just to show the opponent that we're counting. We're committing to the good timing. We don't care about your Air Slash. We easily live that move. We know that you're not at the next move. Very good games. I hate this lead for Mantine right here. We're going to farm all the way up to the Water Pulse. The opponent goes for a CMP tie here, that they would not have won, by the way, and they go straight for the Thunderbolt. Single resisted Thunderbolt, of course ground double resists Electric, and they come into a Victory Bell. This is kind of annoying, but we do have a lot of energy, and we hopefully can look to deal with this. So we've got Deoxys, we've got 1 Razor Leafer. I can predict that it's probably going to be Wigglytuff in the back, which if it is, we're kind of screwed here. The opponent shields that up, we're going to go immediately for the next move. And if the opponent shields up here, they will be able to get off a Leaf Blade, but we will definitely just outpace them at this point. Yeah, they go for a Leaf Blade. This is perfectly fine. And because we're joint water typing, these Razor Leafs are absolutely ripping for us. We need to get rid of this thing as soon as possible. The Deoxys is pretty dry. I do like, yeah, aggro swapping here into the Annihilape, and just seeing what they have in the back. The opponent may be looking to go for a Psycho Boost and Dip here. I think it's definitely good to respect this move. And hopefully it's just something in the back we can deal with. The opponent is not swapping out, so perhaps it could be like a Bastiodon in the back. We go for a very nice CMP tie on the next Psycho Boost. That's going to one-shot the Deoxys, and it is the Donkey Dinosaur in the back. The monkey is punching the dinosaur once again. This Donkey Dinosaur is just getting clapped up by the Ghost Monkey here. Shuttle Ball coming in. Of course, that doesn't one-shot them. They can go for Flamethrower if they want, but at this point, they're going to struggle to get to 2 moves here. Flamethrower does not KO. Come on, bring in the Mantine. Bring in, yes, there we go, Jai, there we go. This is what we're talking about. Go for the Water Pulse. Go for the farm down. Okay, nice. I love to see it. Jai, I love to see it. Whenever you're in those matchups, you assert your dominance. You assert your dominance. You farm it down with the Mantine. And in this next match, we have a very good lead in Poliwrath. I still think Poliwrath is underrated. Everybody talks about Annihilape. People are saying this Pokemon's not good anymore. I still think it's underrated. Because you're going to see what they're going to try to do here. They're going to be a pain in the ass and throw Icy Wind. In this match, this is not really the spot to do this, to be fair. Like, you can chip away with those. The opponent comes into this. Unfortunately, we weren't quite quick on the swap there. We definitely could have rinsed them with the water pulse. The opponent will get to a move here. Yeah, I think we just shield this up at this point. The opponent can still have an ice beam from this range, so I think they're most likely going to shield this next move, unfortunately. If they shield this, we can most likely just come into Whiscash at this point. Yep, the opponent respects the damage, and yeah, we're going to bank, I think, an Earliest there, and hop into Whiscash. We can eat any one move, unless it's a Brave Bird. They do go for a Fly, which thankfully is not enough damage. These Incinerates are absolutely ripping us to shreds. We do need to get rid of this thing, and most likely, Poliwrath comes in and goes for the counter down. We do have a lot of energy, we do have a Monkey in the back, and we do have a Mantine. So, okay, they come into a Venusaur, very interesting here. We do have a little bit of energy left on this, we did bank the Aurelius, so we're going to go for this move immediately. This does not quite one-shot the Venusaur, so this is still tricky. This is still tricky. Maybe what you needed to do there was come in, go for a Night Slash first, and then go for the snipe with the Aurelius. Because, actually, funny enough, I've been using Venusaur a little bit recently, and they do make it to another move. This is not going to one-shot, but this is going to put us in a position where we can hopefully, yep, just go for this. Oh, the opponent makes it to the move. So, unfortunate. I definitely think that's probably the one thing that could have been done slightly better there. If you had went for the Annihilate first, come in, go for a Night Slash, shield up the move, and then go for the snipe with Mantine. The opponent would have still got off a Scald on the Poliwrath, so it may have been just game over anyway. But I do think you live a Scald, and if you, let's say, for example, overfarm a little bit, farm up to 1 before the Venusaur gets to their second Frenzy, let's say, come in, go for the snipe, you'll have like 5 counters of energy, you'll have to tank, of course, 1 move from the Poliwrath on the Annihilate. I think that might have been the win con. Anyway guys, in this next battle here, Dragonair lead, I like just going straight for Aurelius in this matchup anyway, and the opponent doesn't even get off a move. Ghost Monkey just fucked him up, and in comes the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death here. This Kentucky Fried Chicken is about to eat the Night Slash. I do like baiting these, because they oftentimes do go for shields to try to ramp up, and yeah, by the looks of things, oh, we're going to go for another bait as well. This might be a little bit greedy. I think we only get off 1 more move here. Yeah, that was a little bit greedy. That definitely was a little bit greedy. The opponent, knowing we have a Mantine, may not want to shield that, and because we've given them a massive farm down, they do shield it. We do have 2 shields here, we should be in a very decent position still. You can even let this go, yeah. The opponent is being greedy now at this point. That was a very, very greedy flame charge. Just knowing that you're not even going to get off any more moves, you might as well just go for that. The opponent comes into a Lantern, and either way, this is just absolute curtains for the opponent. Good games well played there. And in the next game we have a Venusaur. I've been using Venusaur, Lantern, and Whiscash on my wife's account, and funny enough, here comes the Lantern. I've been using this on my wife's account, and this team is actually working kind of well, low-key. I think grass types could be making a slight comeback here, because we're seeing a lot of penguins, we're seeing a lot of alligators. Water types are just everywhere. You know, in this early part of the season, Skarmory has been a little bit less common. You're seeing a few more Mantines, you're seeing a few more Glygars and things like that. As I mentioned, I do think the meta will boil back down to Skarmory, Whiscash. I think that's inevitable this season. Towards the end of the season, that's what's going to happen. We do go for a very nice CMP tie here to get rid of the Lantern. But I think at the moment, Venusaur and a double water team is quite good. The opponent comes back into the Venu, we get off a Mud Bomb. Shadow Mud Bomb should do about 50% of the Venusaur's health here. Boom. Yeah, it takes it down into the red. We can come in with Mantine, go for the move immediately. Unfortunately, we do get slightly outpaced. We can easily live this move. It's not pretty. They go for Sludge Bomb. In that situation, because we're joint water type, you should go for Frenzy. We do take them out, and the opponent comes into Whiscash. Guys, this is actually quite a decent team that the opponent's running. If you only have a limited selection of Pokemon, like I said on my wife's account, I don't have that many Pokemon, so I was running this. The opponent gives up because this is just curtains for them. But this is actually quite a decent team, and I do recommend it. I wasn't planning on showcasing it, but I had like a bunch of 5-0s, 4-1s. I've climbed quite a lot. My win percentage on that account is way higher than my main account. We have a Feraligatr lead. This is definitely a positive one for Mantine, regardless of the moveset. As you can see, that just absolutely chunks. We don't necessarily need to swap out or want to swap out here. We'll see if they're on Ice Beam or not. They're on Crunch. I feel like a lot of people have switched over towards the Crunch moveset, because with the Ice Beam moveset, you kind of get walled by Lantern with this Pokemon. The opponent's fighting for alignment. I like just letting this go at this point. I would predict this is a similar team to what I showcased, which would be like Vigoroth and Charjabug in the back. Okay, they come in with a Gligar, so I think we're going to stay and go for the Shadow Ball. That was a CMP time. The Shadow Ball will not one-shot the Gligar, but will do an awful lot of damage. The opponent respects it. And I think because we've got some countered... Oh, he actually does let this go. Jai must be making it just a hard call that this is Charjabug in the back. We're going to go for a Scald here. The opponent's not going for a catch or anything yet. I think the opponent probably goes straight Aurelius here, but you sort of have to respect these moves. Yeah, we'll go for a Scald. And I don't think one Scald quite KOs, so I do think you probably just go straight for Mud... Oh, can you farm it down? I guess you do shield here. Oh, we're letting this one go. Sorry, I'm not counting. I guess this was just an Aurelius, and it is Vigoroth. So the opponent using a fairly similar team to what I showcased with the Feraligatr and Vigoroth core, but we should be able to take this out no problem. Very good recognition by Jai, just to say, you know what, I've got 2 shields, I've got a Whiscash, it can beat almost anything. We go for the nasty catch on the Body Slam as well, not giving up a shield to the opponent. Boom, Body Slam coming through, that takes out that. And at this stage, guys, this should be absolute curtains for them. We can farm them down, and that's game over. So yeah, very interesting and good play by Jai there. Mantine versus Vigoroth, okay. So this is a very interesting match. We can live a Rock Slide, but it's not exactly comfortable. This counter user, we go for a very nice catch on the Whiscash here as well. But this counter user that does not take super effective, the opponent baits, what an absolute masturbator. That is super frustrating. The opponent goes for CMP tie here. I think we just, yeah, I like letting this go. We live this move. Easy lives, go for the Scald. That'll take them out. See if they want to give up a shield or not. I'd like to try and come in with the Ape or something like that. At this point, since we've thrown several charge moves, the switch timer will be almost back up again. We can come in with Ghost Monkey, start punching this thing. The opponent goes for a swap into the Gligar. Once again, shield up this move, go for the Shadow Ball, and I think we should be chilling here. So by the looks of things, we're going for a huge overfarm, and yep, we're going to go for a catch on the Mantine. Was that a CMP tie? I seen him clicking on the move, but sometimes it is a little bit delayed. Okay, it wasn't a CMP, so we are able to get a nice overfarm. That's a really nice sort of recognition by Jai. Whenever you don't get the CMP in that situation, or whenever you don't get off the move immediately, you might as well just get a little bit of an overfarm. So instead of just spamming the move, you know, it either went through or it didn't, right? So if it didn't go through, you just overfarm if you can. Back in comes this thing. They're going to go straight for a Body Slam, and I think at this point we're going to trust in the Ghost Monkey. Body Slam coming in. We've got a ton of energy, and it's a Wigglytuff. Instant top left. Well, that's just unfortunate. In comes the Empoleon. We have 2 answers to this in the back, and in comes Dragonair. Dragonair behind an energy is not good against Annihilape. Now, because we've seen Empoleon and we've seen Dragonair, it's most likely going to be Goodra in the back. This is a team that was showcased by Jamie Finn earlier in the season, and I showcased a similar team with Reggie instead of Empoleon. I'm personally a big fan of Reggie, as you guys know. Anyway, guys, we're going to go for these moves. We can definitely take swap here if we want it. The opponent does not get off a second move, and we're even ahead on energy. In comes the Decidueye. Now, thankfully, this is not the Trevenant. We don't get off the move. But luckily for us here, the opponent dumps their energy immediately. Spirit Shackle coming in, and we can come in with the Mantine and start getting ahead in energy. We come in, the opponent comes straight into the Empoleon, and with that 1-wing attack we got through, that'll basically allow us to outpace. We let this move go, of course. I think you actually might be better soft losing this matchup here. I think as long as you get low, you should be perfectly fine here. But oftentimes, an opponent's win con is to get a farm down. At this point, we go for another Mud Bomb. I think if it was me, I would let this move go, and just come in with the other thing. And the Penguin's basically an Aerial Ace plus wing attack range. So this is perfectly fine. We go for a nice undercharge here, trying to leave a little bit of health on it, so that the opponent can potentially take us out. The opponent gets through, I think, 3... It's not Vine Whips, I can't remember the name of this move. But this is basically curtains at this point. We easily live this Spirit Shackle, not even the Frenzy Plant, and we're going to even overfarm a little bit and go for the Aerial Ace. Good games well played. Decidueye is just super glassy, and yeah, good games well played there. What I talked about, you know, towards the end of that match, it didn't really make a difference, and maybe it was like going a little bit over the top there. But it's just something good to keep in mind for everybody who's watching at home. If you're ever in a situation where you have 2 Pokemon left, and you're not taking super effective damage on your second Pokemon against the Pokemon that you're currently facing off against, but if the Pokemon in the back can potentially farm your Pokemon down, get a bunch of energy, and basically look to take you out, it's always really good to keep in mind that sometimes soft losing the second to last matchup is better to give yourself the energy and not allow the opponent to get energy there. Anyway, guys, we have a Talonflame lead. I think we're going to let this go, predicting that's maybe a Flame Charge. It is a Flame Charge. That do take us out anyway, and we're going to go straight for the Water Pulse. The opponent should be another Incinerate off the fly. The opponent shields that move up. I think we're probably going to commit to taking this out at this point. We do make it on 1 HP. That's absolutely perfect. We've got 2 shields here. We've got a Wisdaddy Cash, and we're going to trust in it. Unfortunately, the timer's not quite up. The Charjabug comes in, gets a move head start, but it's 2-0 shields against the Charjabug. Good games well played. And once again, big thank you to Jai for sending in the battles. Let me know in the comment section down below, do you think this Pokemon is benefiting from this move, or do you prefer the move of Aerial Ace and Ice Beam? I think we've seen in some of those situations that it really was working out quite nicely with that moveset. And I think if you're running a team, like I said, that's weak to fire in the back, if you're running a team, for example, like Mantine, you know, we do have the Annihilape in the back, which is weak to, of course, like Skeledirge and Talonflame, so having that extra water coverage was nice. But I do think it's a very cool update. It's not really an upgrade, not really a downgrade, more of a side grade for Mantine, but it's always nice having this extra coverage, and oftentimes Talonflame's just completely no-shield Mantine, right? They can comfortably live the Ice Beam. Even if you're running Ice Beam, you can threaten the Water Pulse, and that's pretty huge in itself as well. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time.